In this video, we're going to be talking about N behaviors, and I want to give you 4 examples. They're not necessarily the examples here on this chart, but this chart will serve as a reminder of how to recognize the functions for their degree and for their leading coefficient. And you can be able to tell that from both those two things and from the graph itself what the N behaviors are. So let's start with this problem right here that I'm highlighting on Desmos. X squared plus 3x, we'll say x squared plus 3x plus 1. Notice that that problem is going up in both directions. So it is going up on the left side, and it is going up on the right side. That is because it's a positive leading coefficient, and it has an even degree for the leading coefficient. All positive, even leading coefficients are going to be pointing up on both the left side and the right side of any polynomial graph. So their N behavior is going to be on the left side going up. So we would say as x goes to negative infinity, y, or f of x, goes to positive infinity. And on the right side, it also goes up with, so we say as x goes to positive infinity, y goes to positive infinity. So even and positive is going to be pointing up, and both of those y's will point to positive infinity. When the leading coefficient's even, but it's a negative, notice you see that negative there, then it gets reflected over the x-axis. It's flipped. So it's going to be going down in both directions. So even and negative is pointing down in both directions. So it's going to have an N behavior as on the left side, as x goes to negative infinity, y goes to negative infinity. So it's going down, it's going to go to negative infinity down here. On the right side, as x goes to infinity, y goes to negative infinity. So it's still pointing down, so it's going to have a negative infinity both for the y's on the left and the right side. That's even and negative. When you change that leading coefficient to a positive degree, or an odd degree, then you see reverse directions on the left and right side. So if it's positive and odd, they're going to be both pointing in opposite directions. It's going to start on the low end, it's going to end on the high end. So your left is going to be as x goes to negative infinity, y goes to negative infinity since it's going left and down. And on the right, it's going to be as x goes to infinity, y goes to infinity because it's pointing up on the right side. So they're both going to negative infinity on the left side and positive infinity on the right side. So they're going to be going in opposite directions. And as you might guess, if you keep that an odd number there, so x to the third power, but you change that to a negative, so odd and negative, it's going to start high and end low. So the left is going to be on the positive, the right's going to be on the negative. So on the left side, you would say as x goes to negative infinity, y goes to infinity. So the left goes up. And then on the right side, you would flip the y. So on the right side, you'd say as x goes to infinity, y goes to negative infinity. That's going to be left side and right side. So that's going to be odd and negative. Hope that was helpful.